Early space exploration relied on computers the size of entire rooms. They were massive, bespoke machines that required a human operator to physically punch cards or flip switches for every single calculation. The tool sat completely inert until a person gave it an active physical command. Compare that to NASA's Artemis 2 mission. When astronauts head back to lunar orbit, they aren't just relying on the ship's mainframe. For the first time, the crew is taking standard, off-the-shelf consumer smartphones on the journey. While hardware pushes into the vacuum of space, a parallel shift is occurring in the software we use on Earth. Artificial intelligence is moving past the era of waiting for a human prompt. The tools have detached from our thumbs. We have crossed the boundary from consulting a digital encyclopedia that waits for our questions to launching autonomous entities that operate on their own schedule. You can see this integration happening in our physical environments. With the iOS 26.4 update, the ChatGPT app now operates directly through Apple CarPlay. You interact with the software entirely by voice while navigating traffic, without ever looking at or touching a screen. To see how a system makes the leap from a reactive chatbot to an autonomous agent, look at Copaw. It is an open-source framework developed by Alibaba, designed specifically to give AI independence. Standard language models lose their context the moment you close the browser window. Copaw solves this with its REMI module. This gives the agent long-term memory, logging past interactions into local or cloud storage so it can continuously adapt to your behavior across entirely separate sessions. Because it retains that memory, the agent maintains a single, consistent identity. It can track project updates in corporate software like DingTalk, and then summarize that information for you later on Discord or email, operating without constant human supervision. Developers can also equip these agents with specific Python modules, which act as toolsets or skills. These allow the software to physically manipulate files on a computer or scrape the web for data entirely in the background. Persistent digital coworkers are now building their own memory and executing complex tasks in the background, long after the user has stopped looking. So if these systems can operate independently, what exactly do they prioritize when left to their own devices in a commercial environment? We are seeing the answer play out live on YouTube. The platform is dealing with a massive influx of automated videos, produced entirely by artificial intelligence, working at a speed no human editor can match. The engine driving this behavior is basic economics. Channel operators are deploying autonomous AI to mass-produce cheap, algorithmically generated videos. They categorize them as educational to slip into children's feeds and harvest the ad revenue. When artificial agency scales without human oversight or moral intent, it creates a dangerous vacuum. The system defaults entirely to its easiest programmed metric, the optimization of profit and engagement, rather than quality or safety. The direct output of this systemic failure is what researchers now call AI smut. These are rapidly generated, nonsensical videos that specifically target young viewers. These bizarre sequences of morphing shapes and bright colors hijack a toddler's attention. Child advocates warn that consuming this rapid-fire media damages attention spans and severely blurs a developing child's ability to distinguish reality from algorithmic fiction. This has triggered a severe backlash. Over 200 child development experts sent a petition directly to Google CEO Sundar Pichai. The letter explicitly condemns the promotion of this content, calling the entire situation an uncontrolled experiment on children. YouTube's primary response has been a policy to require labels on AI-generated content. But as the advocates point out, a warning label is a complete failure for a 3-year-old audience that hasn't learned how to read. Deploying autonomous, self-optimizing code on a vulnerable population reveals the limits of technical self-regulation. Without human intervention, the system lacks the framework to evaluate its own moral impact. As our machines become increasingly autonomous and capable of handling their own logic, it forces a question: what role is actually left for human agency? LinkedIn CEO Ryan Roslansky recently co-authored a framework addressing exactly this. His thesis is straightforward. In an era of artificial intelligence, technical coding skills are no longer your primary differentiator in the labor market. Instead, the value shifts to foundational human qualities. It takes interest to choose the actual direction of the technology, and it requires courage to risk the unknown and accept unguaranteed outcomes, the same courage required of astronauts venturing toward the moon. Then there is art and communication. Generative AI can only mimic output by recombining existing data. Creating genuinely original ideas and building the collaborative trust required to execute them remains an exclusively human domain. But the most vital required counterweight is compassion. An algorithm cannot feel the damage it causes. It is a uniquely human trait to recognize harm, step in, and protect children from algorithmic exploitation. Here is the core paradox of automation. As our artificial systems grow smarter and more independent, we don't get to step back. We have to become more intensely human, to set the boundaries, regulate the actions, and give the computation its meaning.
Thank you for watching. For more professional AI insights, remember to like this video and subscribe to AI CoreCast.